Hi there, and welcome back to my Tarot Corner. Today's reading is all about getting you motivation, suggestions, ideas, any sort of guidance for the upcoming month of January 2022. If you've never done a pick a card reading before, how it works is I've laid out 4 ghosts representing 4 different kinds of readings. All you have to do is pick one of these ghosts of your choice and then skip to the timestamp of that reading. And just a reminder that with tarot, you can choose to see these as predictions. You can also choose to see them as suggestions or ideas or just some form of motivation for you for the month ahead. Honestly, my only hope is that you get something valuable from this reading. So now, that being said, let's go ahead and get into these piles. We've got the yellow ghost. We've got the green ghost. We've got the blue ghost. And we've got the purple ghost. Take a moment to feel, to listen for, to sense whichever ghost is calling to you most. You can pause the video if you need more time. Then when you're ready, head over to that timestamp and I'll see you for your reading. Alright, if you chose the yellow ghost, then this is the reading for you. So, these first cards here will tell us the themes that you're leaving behind and the themes that you're moving into. What energy are you leaving behind? What energy are you moving out of? What energy are you releasing? And what energy, what theme, what vibes are you moving into for the month of January? Let's take a look. We've got the Chariot and the Hermit, moving out of the Chariot energy and moving into the Hermit energy in January. So the first thing that I'm noticing here is the intense contrast between how busy and how vibrant and just again how busy it is in this card compared to how solitary and alone this figure is. In this card we see so many different figures, so many different people, just so much bustle happening versus this card where this person is the only focus in this card here. And the keywords that we have here for the Chariot are ambition, triumph, momentum, control, moving into the Hermit, which is contemplation, solitude, introspection, beacon. So basically you may have had a lot of momentum, a lot of ambition from the past month or just from recent times. Maybe you had a lot of things that you were gunning for or a lot of things on your plate or just a very intense moving energy. So it seems like you've been recently having a lot of energy, having a lot of forward momentum, but now in January is a time for you to take a pause, take a break, or kind of finish off that journey as you move into this new energy of, again, contemplation and solitude. The first thing that comes to mind is when you're taking like a long road trip somewhere, you know, like an 8-hour road trip, you need these rest stops. So January might be a sort of rest stop for you where you kind of pull over, you get out of your car, you step over to these cliffs and you take a moment to admire like the wide ocean. You take a moment to admire like just everything that is in front of you and or just this random stop that may not be actually related to your journey. Just some sort of rest stop is what I'm seeing here with the Hermit. So yeah, that's some of the energy that you may be moving out of and moving into for this month. Let's take a look at some other cards and see what else might be coming up for you this month. Okay, so these are 4 areas of your month of January that we will be looking at today. We've got battle, what might be a challenge or an obstacle for you. We've got treasure, what might you be gaining either from this battle or just throughout the month of January. Health potion, which can be a way for you to replenish or nourish yourself in this time. And lastly, a sidekick, who can you lean on for help and support during this time? Who is your second in command during this time? So yeah, let's lay out some cards and see what we've got here. For battle, we've got Judgment. For treasure, we've got the King of Cups, and health potion, we've got the Hanged Panda. So first off, with Judgment being a battle, being some sort of struggle for you this month, the energy of Judgment speaks to this release of past guilt, release of past baggage, kind of letting go of things that don't serve you. It's kind of a call to action. It's a call for you to kind of like wake up. You know, you kind of hibernated for long enough. It's time for you to get up and kind of like get moving. It's time for you to freshen up, really. The whole energy here is like freshening up. It feels like there might be some guilt or some baggage associated with either the Chariot or the Hermit energy, because again, we kind of are releasing and moving out of the Chariot energy, moving into this Hermit kind of energy, this Hermit kind of vibe, you know? So with Judgment possibly being a struggle related to that, it feels like you might have some regrets or some hesitations, something is holding you back from fully embracing this solitude, this introspection kind of energy. Either that, or you might be having some baggage or some sort of holdbacks with the chariot energy. Maybe a part of you is trying to hold on to this chariot energy, this momentum, even though maybe you haven't been feeling this momentum for a while, or maybe this momentum has kind of like taken you off course. Maybe you haven't been like in control for a while. Another keyword of the chariot is control here. So it feels like there is like a rock in your system, a rock in one of your chakras, and you're like trying to get rid of it, or you're not even sure that it's there. You just feel like some sort of blockage. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Blockage. There's just some blockage that might be holding you back from like releasing this past skill and fully coming into your own and trying to live in the present. So yeah, it just feels like you might be holding on to something that just isn't helping you move forward in the way that you might want to or need to. However, moving on to the next card here, treasure, like if you can resolve and move through this battle and face this challenge, you might come into this treasure. You might find these gifts throughout the month. The gift being the King of Cups. So what do we see here in the King of Cups? We see what looks like a king, a panda king. There just is such a feeling of peace and serenity because even though they're a king, they're not like standing up and like ordering people around. They're just there with themselves and just admiring the flower, admiring peace. So, that's the main keyword that I'm getting from this card here is while you kind of work through this baggage, these things, you let go of these things that are holding you back from just truly enjoying the moment and truly like accepting and being with yourself, however that might show up for you this month. Once you move through this challenge, you'll kind of understand peace a little bit better. So another thing here with the King of Cups being a treasure is that once you are more at peace with yourself and can be okay with yourself, that peace within yourself will project onto other people as well. You may or may not have noticed that when we are feeling secure with ourselves, we're not likely to project onto other people. But when we're feeling insecure or feeling unconfident, when some of our inner needs are not being met, then of course we are likely to like lash out or snap at other people because our own needs aren't being met. So this kind of is a call for you to just accept the peace within yourself that you might have been lacking for a little bit so that you can show up better for other people. You can be more emotionally present for other people. Now, with the health potion here, what is a way that you can nourish yourself and you can nurture and care for yourself in the next month? The health potion being the hanged panda. As we can see, the hanged panda is upside down. They're in this tree, not really sure if they're stuck in this tree like by choice or if they're stuck like involuntarily. But what I do see here specifically is while they're being stuck, they're taking a moment to just be present and admiring the fireflies around them. As they're in this limbo state, this state of almost surrender, we see these fireflies that are just kind of hanging out with the panda, chilling out here while the panda's kind of figuring out what to do next, where to go from here. Or maybe the panda isn't really figuring out what to do next. Maybe the panda is really just enjoying a moment of being with the fireflies, being like resting in this tree. I definitely see a lot of parallels with the hanged panda here and the hermit here. Both of them are in solitude, kind of. They're not surrounded by other people. I mean, the hanged panda again has their fireflies, but there's an element of surrender here, an element of like taking a moment to stop and rest and chill out. So yeah, it just seems like you can expect a lot more slowing down in January, or if there are a bunch of other things that are going to happen that might not be in the slowing down vein, then it is definitely important for you to find your center, find ways to ground yourself and connect with yourself most of all so that you can feel centered and not swept away in the wildness that might be happening around you. Show yourself the compassion that you would hope other people can show you. Just as you might find that you're going to show up better for other people this month, give yourself a chance to show up for yourself in the ways that you wish people would show up for you. Now we'll take a look at this card here, the sidekick. This is some sort of energy or a person who can represent this energy or this trait for you. Someone who can be a great support system for you in the next month. We've got the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups being a sidekick for you, it definitely feels like you have to find some ways or some things that will help you feel fulfilled in the simplest of ways. And again, this can be an energy within yourself, or this can be someone else who represents these qualities and these energies for you. What's interesting is that we have the King of Cups representing a treasure, a gift for you this month. The king can be a professional kind of energy, you know, this like super put together on top of things kind of energy. Whereas the sidekick being the Ace of Cups, the Ace is like the new seed, the new sprout of the Cups suit, this water emotional relationship energy. So it feels like as you are learning to master your own emotions and kind of improve in your relationships and all this water stuff, the things that will support you the most as well, you have to remember to do the little things that will make you happy and feel fulfilled as well. You know, like when you're feeling angry, instead of trying to repress that anger, like acknowledge that your anger exists. It's a little seed of anger. It doesn't have to sprout into like a whole raging fire or a raging flood of anger. You know, just acknowledge that the anger exists and find ways to like care for yourself and express it. You have a way for the emotions to flow like an ocean instead of being dammed up. What we don't repress, we express. Meaning, rather than trying to repress your emotions, rather than trying to contain them in this little shell, it's okay to let them flow in the ocean. Your emotions are a part of who you are. And I think that is an especially important lesson that you might need to internalize this month, again with the energy of the Hermit coming up, especially, oh my gosh, look at all this water that is flowing around in the Hermit here. You know, just there is a decent amount of water energy in your spread today, so definitely just be mindful of that. It might be a time for you to connect more deeply with your own emotions and be comfortable with all of them, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So lastly, let us take these dice. These are the Points to Ponder dice by Jamie Sawyer. So we're going to roll these dice and we're going to grab a die for you to ponder during this month in addition to your reading today. So let's see what we've got. We've got Desire. So I'll leave it up to you to determine what desire might mean, especially in the context of all the cards and the information that we've got here today. But yeah, so that concludes your reading for today, your guidance for January. Hope you found this helpful. Hopefully you found some good points to take away from this. If you did, I'd love to know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, what you didn't think, what your experiences are, whether you comment now or come back in a month, you know, whatever you'd like. And yeah, that is all for now, so I'll see you in another video. Bye! Alright, if you chose the green ghost, then this is the reading for you. So, these first two cards here will tell us what theme, what energy you might be moving out of. What energy might you be releasing? What energy, what theme might you be moving into for the month of January? So what are you letting go of? What are you moving out of? And what are you moving into? Let's take a look. We've got the Four of Trees and the Three of Clouds. So some of the keywords for the Four of Trees here are celebration, peace, community, and plenty. So it seems like you may have been celebrating a lot. You may have had some sort of resting moment, some sort of like pit stop. The reason I'm saying that is because it seems like these people are taking a moment to kind of dance around and enjoy these woods, these trees a little bit. There's this idea, this feeling of, you know, on your long journey, you might be taking a moment to stop and celebrate a milestone. You may have recently spent a lot of time with family or just with some sort of community where you have felt really cared for. But moving into this Three of Clouds energy, moving from the 4 to the 3 means there's sort of a regression of some kind. Now, moving to the Three of Clouds energy, I'm seeing that compared to the Four of Trees, there's so much contrast here. It seems like there are no people in this card here, no people in this landscape. The sky is, you know, very gray compared to the bright blue sky here. The biggest keyword that I see here, you know, for the Three of Clouds, we've got separation, lament, breakthrough, potency. The biggest keyword that pops out to me here is breakthrough. So I'm wondering if after you kind of had your time like celebrating and dancing and having fun, January is the month of you realizing things. I hate to sound like a freaking Kendall Jenner tweet from like years ago, but yeah, like I feel like January might be the time of breakthroughs and just realizing new things. There seems to be some distance from this community that you may have been a part of, that you may have enjoyed. It just feels like this is a time of more isolation and just of more learning things. With the word lament here, this might also be a good time for you to lament, basically, and just mourn, give space for holding grief for things that you may or may not have felt, before. One example or one idea here is if you have been celebrating a lot, sometimes when we are in the midst of so much celebration and so much happiness and so much like social activity, we may not really have the space to like process things. So maybe this is a time of processing for you, a time of, you know, your brain catching up to the events of your life that has been happening. So yeah, those are the themes that you might be moving out of / moving into for the month of January. Let's pull some more cards and see what else comes up. Okay, so these are some things that might be coming up for you this month. We've got battle, shadows to overcome, obstacles, some sort of challenge or confrontation for you this month. Treasure, rewards or items gained, unexpected gifts. What treasure might you be discovering this month? Health potion, what do you need to replenish and recharge yourself? How can you nourish and nurture yourself this month? And sidekick, what is a helper, a cheerleader, someone who can support you this month? Let's take some cards and let's take a look. All right, we've got the Six of Wands being a battle. We've got the Knight of Swords being a treasure. We've got the Five of Swords as a health potion. And lastly, the sidekick. We will leave that unknown for now. The first thing I'm seeing is that there is another element of celebration here. Similar to the celebration keyword that was popping up in the Four of Trees. The Four of Trees is also known as the Four of Wands in other tarot decks. Maybe there's something that you have been working towards that you might be struggling to finish or succeed at this month. Maybe you're struggling to feel a sense of success or a sense of accomplishment this month. Maybe you will have accomplished or finished things this month, but you're not really able to see or understand just how far you've come. You're not really able to appreciate yourself for it. What I'm also noticing here is that there is an element of community here versus here, the Six of Wands. There's only one other panda here. Another possible idea is that you might feel like if there is not a whole hullabaloo of people celebrating you, if there's only one other person who sees you and supports you, maybe that doesn't feel like enough for you. Maybe there's just this feeling of numbers possibly not being enough for you. Like, again, if there's only one or two people supporting you versus a whole horde of followers, like maybe you don't really see the value in that. So that might be a struggle for you. Or maybe this is also something that you were trying to reach like a lot of people, but you only reach like one or two other people. And so this feeling of victory might be a battle for you. This idea of victory being a struggle could also be an external struggle as well. So maybe other people seem to be accomplishing things and having their own fireworks displays and having their own like unicorn horn and their own like cool wand in their mouth. And you are this side panda who kind of has to watch from the sidelines. And maybe you might be struggling with feelings of envy or feelings of insecurity this month because you wish that you could be like this panda as well. Or maybe you don't wish that you could be this panda. Maybe someone else who is being successful is kind of being really braggy about it and being really in your face about it. And you're like, okay, dude, I get it. When are you going to stop? So there just is this element of victory or success of some sort being a confrontation. But there's a lot of ways that you could take this card being a battle for you. Now, with the Knight of Swords being a treasure, a possible gift for you or reward for you this month, maybe it's in response to you fighting this battle and kind of making your way through this battle, whether you win or lose. You just surviving is all that really matters, right? But if you survive, it feels like the treasure that you might get is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords has so much confidence, so much forward-moving energy. Look at this, like they've got their red cape on, they've got their flag in hand, they're in the top of a tree, they're screaming at the heavens as these swords are like flying by, as these feathers are flying by. It just seems like this knight is ready to leap into action. This month, you might realize that feelings of success and the external accomplishments are not as important as you just leaping into action. Maybe you'll find the confidence and even the impulsiveness to leap into action and just start doing things for the sake of doing things instead of trying to wait until you see the end result. I'm sure we all have known a Knight of Swords kind of energy or a kind of person in our lives. Like this, again, this is the kind of panda, the kind of person that would jump into a debate, even if they do or they don't know all the facts. This is the first person that will say like they'll do something even if they don't fully know what it is they're doing. There's kind of something to admire about this sort of impulsivity though, because for someone who might be used to hanging back and like having things all figured out or like waiting till you see the profits of something, as much as this kind of energy might be frustrating for some people, I feel like there's also a lot to admire about this kind of impulsive energy. Because for someone who might be used to calculating things or who might be used to like celebrating and doing things that are successful and popular, this impulsivity, this I'm just going to do things whether they're successful or not, whether they're profitable or not, that is an amazing energy to appreciate. And I feel like you might have a new appreciation for this kind of energy, whether in yourself or with other people this month. Now, the Five of Swords being a health potion for you, how can you replenish yourself? The Five of Swords, it can seem like a very negative card because we see these two pandas, like one is clearly beaten down and the other one is like still on this other panda's belly, like trying to get the last word in kind of thing. There's just a commotion in here. It just doesn't look like a fair or even battlefield. But the health potion, maybe you can tap into more of this Five of Swords energy, especially within yourself. Maybe this Five of Swords represents you and your conscience, or your conscience versus you. Maybe you need to remind yourself of all the things that you might have forgotten, or maybe you might be tempted to fall back into old ways that don't really satisfy you or don't really help you out. And the Five of Swords here, this energy of like, hey man, look, you got to get up. You've been down forever. You've got to get up and like start doing things. You've got to change. You've got to start doing things. This is like the Jiminy Cricket of your mind. Give yourself kind of a harsh pep talk. Seeing that there are so many swords in your spread already, like the Three of Clouds is also the Three of Swords in other suits, like there is just a lot to discover this month in terms of communication. It feels like you're just going to level up in your mind this month. You're just going to have breakthroughs. Again, we're going back to this word breakthrough, right? The Knight of Swords here, it seems like they're literally about to break through something. So it feels like you might be on the brink of something. You might be able to accomplish more than you thought possible this month if you push yourself, if you allow yourself to be a little bit impulsive, let go of other people's opinions of you, if you let yourself just do things because you need to or you can do them and not just because you're trying to find ways to celebrate. So now let's look at the sidekick here. What is an energy or someone who represents this energy? What is someone or something who can be your resource and support you on your journey in January? We've got the Fool. So the Fool energy speaks to a kind of clean slate energy. There's almost a kind of naivete or an innocence to this kind of Fool energy that I think really ties in with this Knight of Swords that we were just talking about. The Fool being the card 0, being the very first card of the tarot deck, it can represent the start of a new journey, the start of a new chapter, just some sort of fresh way of thinking. Some people might look down on the Fool because they think, why won't this Fool listen to what we're saying? Why won't they do things the way that they've always been done? Why are they trying to go off on their own path and do their own thing their way? And we definitely see that here too with the Fox, they're literally about to walk off this cliff, but they're not even looking down at where they're walking. They're looking ahead, possibly at their journey. And also here ahead, it literally seems like they're looking all the way at whatever is going on in your life already. But yeah, with the Fool energy, it seems like a double reminder for you to let go of the preconceived notions that you have had or that other people have had. Because if you listen to other people and you listen to their worries or you listen to their opinions when you might not have asked, it just might lead you to places that won't really be beneficial for you. If you allow yourself to pave your own path forward, to take chances and, walk off a cliff, not really knowing or caring what might happen, you might come into new ways of being that you might not have discovered before. It also ties back to this key word here, separation. Separation can seem like something that you might not want or something that might seem very lonely, but sometimes when we separate from the crowd, when we separate ourselves from other people and other people's opinions and other people's desires and needs and how they live their lives, when we separate ourselves from all that, we then find the freedom to choose how we want to live, how we want to move forward. Separation and breakthrough are the two main things that I'm really seeing here throughout this spread. Let's roll these dice. These are the Points to Ponder dice by Jamie Sawyer. We're going to roll these dice. We're going to grab one die. We're going to grab one more word to tie up this reading and send you on your way. We've got avoid. Avoid. So I'll leave the interpretation of this word up to you for how it might tie in based on the rest of the reading today. But yeah, that will conclude your reading for today, your guidance for January. I hope you got something useful out of this reading. If you did, I'd love to know in the comments, what you thought, what you didn't think, your experiences, whatever. And yeah, that is all for today. I will see you in another video. Bye! Alright, if you chose the blue ghost, then this is the reading for you. Alright, so these cards will tell us what energies, what themes, what vibes might you be moving out of, what might you be releasing, and what themes, what vibes, what energies might you be moving into for the month of January. Let's take a look. We've got the Spirit of Trees and the Steward of Stone. So let's look at the key words here for each card. The Spirit of Trees, what you might be moving out of. We've got magnanimous, persistent, expressive, and vibrant. Versus the Steward of Stone, what might you be moving into? We've got communique, learning, critical thinking, and scholarship. Or is that communique? It might not be French. Pardon me. I will learn to pronounce that another time. So it seems like one theme you may be moving out of is this really big, colorful, busy kind of theme, and then moving into this studious kind of theme. I definitely see a lot of colors here. It goes along with this expressive and vibrant keyword that we've seen here. You may have had a grand time like creating things, being radiant, juggling like 10 things at once kind of thing, but now it might be time for you to move into this energy of, again, critical thinking and learning. So it might be time for you to focus on one or two things instead of like juggling and showing people how you can handle like 20 things at once. If you're familiar with tarot, the Spirit of Trees does correlate with the King of Wands in other decks, and the Steward of Stone correlates with the Knight of Pentacles in other decks. There is definitely a feeling of more openness here because, here these cliffs are literally covered in all these beautiful, colorful flowers versus this scenery here, which only has like one tree in it. And again, just all this open space, open path. So if you were to take this literally, it might be a good time for you to walk around botanical gardens or walk around a school campus and just absorb those kinds of things. So yeah, these are themes that might be relevant to you recently or coming up. Let's take a look at some more cards and see what else comes up. All right, so here are some things that might be coming up for you this month. We've got battle. What obstacles, what challenges, what confrontations might be coming up for you this month? Treasure. What rewards, what gifts might you discover? Health potion. How can you replenish yourself? How can you nourish and heal yourself this month? And sidekick. Who is a helper? Who is a supporter for you this month? Let's pull some cards and take a look. All right, for battle, we've got the Three of Cups. For treasure, we've got the World. Health potion, we've got the Four of Swords, and the sidekick, we will leave that unknown. All right, so the first thing I'm seeing with the battle being a Three of Cups, I'm wondering if social relationships might be a struggle for you this month, either to create or to maintain or just to be a part of. In this card, we're seeing three pandas who seem to be having a great time together. They got their cups, they seem to be like blowing bubbles in a way or just eating this grass, this bamboo. It just seems like they're a trio of like just good friends. But I'm wondering if this sort of spirit might be a battle or a struggle for you. Maybe you'll be struggling to connect with other people this month. You'll be struggling to reconnect with friends or just maintain your current relationships with friends. Maybe your friendships will be growing in a way that you're not familiar with. You're just not sure how to handle this sort of change. Conversely, maybe other people are going to be feeling disconnected and you might have to be the one to try to figure out how to help them feel connected. You might be the one initiating activities and gatherings like this to help other people feel connected. That could be a challenge for you this month. If you're feeling this disconnection from other people, the solution is not really to avoid it. The solution is to go battle for it. Literally, you have to go through it. You have to go fight through it and kind of see what happens. It might not serve you to fall away or give up, Has that worked for you in the past? If it hasn't, then consider, going through this battle, going through this challenge in a different way than you have before. So the number 3 can be a number of expansion. So it might mean that you have to expand the ways that you're trying to socialize or connect with other people this month. You might have to find new innovative ways of connecting and of helping yourself feel connected with other people, but also with yourself too. The Cups is a suit about emotions and relationships, so it is important for you to maintain these relationships that make you happy, do make you fulfilled. It's possible that juggling relationships as well as, your studies or your work may have been a struggle for you in the past. This month, you'll have to figure out a new way to maintain these because we can compartmentalize if we want, but sometimes having more of everything can help make our lives a lot better. Sometimes people sacrifice their social life so that they can study more, but so that maybe that really is a struggle for you this month. Maybe you're going back to school, you're going back to the classroom and you're struggling to socialize again. But let's look at this next card, the World being a treasure for you. It feels like once you have gone through this battle, once you've figured out like the way to best move through this battle and overcome this challenge, the world is awaiting you. The world is definitely the card about integration, about taking all that you've learned, all of the aspects of all of your lives and integrating them into one beautiful world, one beautiful circle, one beautiful colorful circle that encompasses everything. So we were literally just talking about integration, trying not to compartmentalize. And I feel like the world is a treasure that is kind of awaiting you as you figure out how to integrate all these parts of yourself. There may be the student part of you, and there may be the party part of you, or the friendship part of you. These 2 or 3 things don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can, for example, have friends that you want to study with, or go to a party with a friend, but then you also spend some time on the way there or during the party that you're also studying with. It just feels like this month you may have to learn or come across this gift of the world, this gift that you can have it all. You can integrate all the things that you want. You don't have to compartmentalize. You don't have to separate things. You don't have to divvy them out. You don't have to have a work mode and a friend mode. You can have both at the same time if you would like. The health potion being the 4 of swords, it's interesting that you have a whole palette of suits here. You have the swords, the cups, the pentacles, and the wands. You have a very balanced spread here. And again, the treasure being the world, it just really adds to this message of integrating all of these parts of yourself, your passions, your emotions, your thoughts, and your work. These things don't all have to be separate. They can be all integrated. So the 4 of Swords being a health potion, how you might be able to replenish your energy this month is literally rest. Put down the books, let the books fly away for a bit, and, just take a rest. Rest on this cute little beanbag like this panda is doing. With these cards as well, there is a kind of light kind of energy, because I'm noticing that the 3 and the 4 are relatively low numbers compared to higher numbers like 9s or 10s. Basically, it just seems like a hint for you to keep January light and breezy. As much as you might be studying and trying to do critical thinking and all this smarty McSmart stuff, you can also keep it light and breezy. When you're not studying and trying to be smart, or even while you are studying and trying to be smart, you can still remember your long-term goals, such as where you want to be in the world or what you want your end journey to look like. You can, again, take some time to just take naps and party with people. You can just keep this energy light and breezy. So it feels like these light, casual energies might be important for you to remember and keep in mind this month, even while you're going through all this heavier stuff. Now, let's look at this last card, the sidekick. What is an energy, or who is someone with this kind of energy who can support you and lead you on in this journey? Ooh, we've got the Tower. The Tower is an energy, or again, someone with this kind of energy that brings about abrupt or dramatic change. This is the kind of person or the friend who would pull you out of your room to go on a nightly fast food run because Lord knows you need to get out of the house because you have not gotten out of the house in a week. This is the kind of energy that will literally strike down the things that have not been working or that have been working, but they just bring in change anyway. Or a tornado just storms through your home. A lightning bolt just strikes your home and you have no choice but to run. You have no choice but to go find somewhere else or rebuild your home in a new way. So the sidekick energy, this tower energy, when the tower or the tornado comes flying through your home, when it knocks out your routines, what will you choose to rebuild in its place? How will you choose to move forward? Will you choose to do the things that you did before that maybe weren't really working for you, or are you going to find new ways that, do serve you? The other thing with the Tower is even if you don't actually go through any dramatic changes, you can act or think as if you were. It's like that question, what would you do if the world ended tomorrow? Then people would be like, oh, well, suddenly I would do this and that. Tomorrow, we don't know what might happen tomorrow. Literally, your class could be canceled, your school closed down, or your friend might get the news that they're going to move far away. So it then depends. If you were to get those news, what would you do differently to help make the most use out of your time right now? But yeah, there just is this idea of shaking things up is going to be a great help for you this month. Maybe you study or you work in a different room than you're used to. Maybe you take walks in the opposite time of day. Maybe you take a walk, first of all, rather than not taking a walk at all. It just seems like some sort of shakeup is very necessary to help keep you sane, help keep you going in this time. So let's grab one of these dice. These are the Points to Ponder dice by Jamie Sawyer. We're going to roll these dice. We're going to grab one of these dice and we're going to get you a word to finish off your reading. So what is your word? What point can you ponder? We've got cry. Cry. So I'll leave it up to you how you want to interpret how this word might apply to the rest of your reading. But yeah, that concludes your reading for today. If you enjoyed it, I would love to know in a comment, tell me your thoughts, what you didn't think, what you experienced or didn't experience, anything you want to share. Hope you find some peace in the month ahead, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye! Alright, if you chose the purple ghost, then this reading is for you. Let's get started. So, these two cards will tell us what themes, what energies, what vibes might you be moving out of, might you be releasing, versus what themes, what energies, what vibes might you be moving into for the month of January. Let's take a look. We've got the Moon and Judgment. Let's take a look at some of the keywords here. The Moon has precarious, visions, apparition, obscure, versus Judgment. We've got transformation, renewal, liberation, uplifted. I know there's a little bit of a glare, but let's see. Judgment seems to have an angel flying on what looks like a bird, and they're following kind of another bird. Yeah. Wow, the contrast in these cards is amazing. So the Moon, again, being associated with visions and apparitions. There seems to be a bit of cloudiness or a bit of illusions, I want to say, a bit of haziness. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Haziness with the Moon here. Maybe recently you've been feeling like you've been in a daze or in a haze of some sort. Maybe things haven't really felt clear to you. You may have felt like you've been stumbling around in the dark for a while. You may have been lost in the weeds or lost in the forest of the night with only the Moon to guide you forward. The dim light of the Moon, you might be feeling unsure if the way that you're moving forward is the correct way at all. However, in the next month, it seems like you're going to be moving into this Judgment energy. Look at the contrast of these cards, With the Moon, we've got these high cliffs, high mountains, and these tall trees, dark sky, cloudy sky. But here in Judgment, the sky is clear. All the trees are gone. All of these mountains are gone. You're in the sky, flying through this bright landscape, as opposed to, being down here, walking through the trees. It seems like almost a literal picture of you moving out of the nighttime and into the daylight. The things that you were unsure about, they're coming to light. You're shedding light on them. You're seeing them in a new light. You may be letting them go. You may be allowing yourself to fly up and away instead of trying to struggle through these weeds, through these trees. It also might feel like the baggage that you might be carrying with you in the Moon might be falling away as you are releasing it. You're allowing yourself to feel renewed and just liberated. Again, I'm just, I'm looking at these keywords here, but yeah, it just seems like you're going to feel renewed, liberated, and you're going to be able to fly away, baggage free. It feels like you're going to be moving into a new time. It basically feels like a chance for a new leaf for you. So those are the themes that you might be moving out of / moving into for the month. Let's look at some more cards to see what else comes up. So here are some things that might be coming up for you in the month of January. We've got battle. What obstacles, what confrontations, what challenges might you be facing this month? Treasure. What gifts, what rewards might you be getting this month? Health potion. How can you heal, replenish? How can you nourish yourself this month? And sidekick. Who is someone or what is an energy or quality that can help you on your journey this month? Let's pull some cards and find out. For battle, we've got the Page of Pentacles. For treasure, we've got the Two of Swords. For the health potion, we've got the Knight of Wands. And for the sidekick, we will leave that unknown for now. So the Page of Pentacles being a battle for you this month, it feels like some sort of focus or discipline might be a struggle for you this month. It feels like learning something and just getting started with something might be a struggle for you. The Page of Pentacles is literally a get started kind of energy for me. I see this panda, it's like they're trying to plant this bamboo shoot, but it feels like they either don't know how to do it or they don't want to do it, or there's just some blockage that's preventing them from actually doing it, actually doing the thing here. Maybe there are some things that you have been wanting to do, or maybe going back to this judgment idea, maybe there are things that you've been wanting to release, but you're having trouble going about it. Maybe you don't know how to go about it. Maybe you know how to go about it, but you don't have the motivation to. Maybe you don't feel like you're supported. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough resources to go about whatever you're trying to accomplish. Maybe there is a disconnect between your body and your mind or your other needs. Maybe again, this panda is I want to plant this bamboo shoot, but what will my mom think of it? I haven't talked to my mom in a while. I should talk to her. Or, I'm actually really hungry. I can't get started on this project until I'm fully fed. Or maybe I have to do research into the 20 different ways that I can plant a shoot. I have to make sure that I get every single little detail right before I even get started. So maybe there just is this disconnect of what you want to do and what you're trying to do versus all the other parts of your body. So yeah, that just might be a struggle or a challenge for you this month. But the treasure is the Two of Swords. It feels like more possibilities are going to be opened up to you after you get through this first step. And I'm wondering if that might also be a struggle for you because you might struggle with having too many possibilities. But what I'm noticing here with the Two of Swords is there is basically taking a moment to ponder or to reflect on something. You know, they're looking outside of the book that they've been studying and just taking a moment to ponder. So it feels like once you push through this inertia, once you've gotten things moving a little bit, once you've got the ball rolling, you might be able to get some rest. I want to say you might be able to have the privilege or the space or the time to finally like sit back and like ponder things a little bit, you know. I'm wondering if with this Pentacles being a battle as well, you might have a lot on your to-do list and you're having trouble getting even one of them started. But I feel like once you get some of it started, then you'll be able to take a break and kind of ponder things. It'll basically free up your mind space is what I'm seeing here with the Treasure. Now, with the Knight of Wands being a health potion for you, the first thing that comes to mind is following your impulses, actually. With the Page of Pentacles being a battle, you may be having trouble getting started on something because your mind might be preoccupied with other things. So in that case, why not just go do those other things? Fall into this impulsive energy, this Knight of Wands energy. The Knight of Wands energy is almost like a child or like a teenager who will just do whatever they want and they won't really listen to anyone who tells them otherwise. You know, to replenish yourself and to feel nourished, like you can give into your impulses instead of trying to force yourself to do this thing that you clearly might not be feeling ready to do yet. I feel like trying to censor yourself or trying to repress these things that like make you happy like isn't really going to make you happy. It's just going to the impulses are always there. Sometimes we can manage them, but sometimes like, you know, what's the harm in letting yourself follow these impulses, right? I feel like that will actually help bring you to this treasure that you might be seeking or that you might be gaining this month. You might have a better understanding of how to balance these two parts of your mind and your body. This part of you that like wants to try to work and like do the things that are quote necessary, but also balance out these impulses. The two can be a number of balance. So maybe you're balancing like these two things too. That's the treasure that you're discovering this month. You're balancing work plus play. And work can be play and play can be work. You can do both of these things at the same time or in the same way. So, you know, there's just a few ways that you could see this spread. Lastly, let's take a look at this sidekick. This sidekick is an energy or someone who represents this energy. Who is someone or something that can support you, be your resource throughout the month of January? We've got the King of Cups. Wow, what a wonderful balanced kind of spread. You've got all the suits here. You've got Pentacles, Swords, Wands, and Cups. So what I noticed most with the King of Cups is this element of fluidity. I feel like the King of Cups, you know, imagine this as being a professional of that water energy, professional of that fluid energy. The King of Cups, again, this can be a quality within yourself or someone else who represents these qualities for you. The King of Cups energy is an energy that basically kind of allows water to flow however it needs to flow. This king would not be the type to try to stop the flow of water or try to put a dam in the water if there doesn't need to be a dam there. They're not going to try to control things for the sake of controlling. They're going to allow water, emotions, you know, all these things to flow. That's just a part of who they are. It's just a part of what life is like. I also see this element of the king with their tail in the water, but most of the king being above the water. Emotions can be related to impulses. You are aware of these emotions and your impulses. You also understand that they don't define you. You're not getting lost in your impulses or emotions in the fact that you're like forgetting who you are or you're just losing track of everything else. There is an element of fluidity here. The King of Cups, king of this water energy, understands that all of these things exist and they can all flow and coexist and move into and out of one another. You know, it doesn't have to be compartmentalized. It doesn't have to be so strictly separated that they can't flow. Just as you are flowing, you know, in and out of all these different states and all these different emotions and all these different parts of your life, you're also flowing in and out of these illusions. You're flowing through this haze, but you're flowing out of this haze as well, moving into clarity, moving into liberation. By integrating all of these parts, by allowing all of these parts of yourself to flow freely, and also having a balance of all these things in your month, that will help you with the liberation that you are moving towards this month. It is important for you to have all of these things, you know. It's important for you to have time for emotions and relationships, time for your energy, time for your thoughts and your reasoning, your logical brain, and time for work. There is a time and place for all of these. And I feel like you ought to recognize the balance in all of these, you know, so that you can move into this feeling and the state of liberation. So let's grab one more die. We will roll these dice. These are the Points to Ponder by Jamie Sawyer. We will roll these dice. We're going to grab one more word for you, and that'll be it for your reading. we've got reflect. Reflect. I'll leave the interpretation up to you for how this word reflect might tie in or apply to any of these cards and information that we got here today. If you got something helpful from this reading, I would love to know via comment. Just tell me your thoughts, what you didn't think, what you experienced or didn't experience, what you might be going through in January. I'd love to know anything you want to share. That is all I've got for today. I hope to see you in another video. Bye!